What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Low Life Motherfucking Chopper Podcast.
What's up, you chicken heads? Bop, bop, playboy.
Oh my god.
We're back, and we're better than ever. Look at the new setup. Look at the new digs.
Shoo.
This looks like a professional podcast studio almost. Look at that production value. Holy shit. You're going to crash it. Stop making things. Oh, God. You're lagging now.
For you guys on the, listening on the fucking earbuds, you gotta check out the YouTube channel to see all these special effects.
Yeah. And in fact, you're going to want to watch this on YouTube or Spotify if you got the video, because we are kicking off our Choppin 201 series, where we are going to get balls deep down to the root of all these chopper related things
Getting all
that came from you guys, by the way. Yeah. I sent a poll out a long time ago after we did our Choppin 101 series, and got some really great suggestions from our listeners, and kind of assembled a suite of different content that we're going to put out. So this is going to be really image heavy. So I think when we did the Choppin 101, weren't too savvy. I think we're still playing around with a lot of platforms. But yeah, this time I'm going to put lots of pictures. There's going to be lots of pictures. So if you hear something, you're like, oh yeah, I want to know how to do that. There's going to be some pictures. So you got to watch this.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So before we get into Choppin 201, that doesn't really roll off the tongue like 101.
No. 101
Maybe we'll
part
come up
two.
with a better name. Choppin 102. We'll figure that
How
out.
about it's hacking season, part 1.
I know. The Choppin series, the first 5-part series. I don't know how many parts this is going to be, but the first one, the 101, far and away our most beloved episodes. So we're going to try to top it. We're going to get a little bit more in depth. We kind of did an overview of a lot of different things this time around. We want to get really in depth with the process and get into some pictures, and so you guys have a better idea. So you can kind of like a tutorial. So you should be able to hopefully follow along with some of these demonstrations and actually be able to do it yourself. But first, we got the 3 S's. We got shows. We got sponsors. We got shout outs.
Strippers.
I'm going to start with the sponsors because I always forget if I don't do them first.
Dear.
So we got our permanent coffee collab with our boy Rodney. Bump Shop Diaries. If you buy one of our camp mugs, which, by the way, I just released a new camp mug, fucking chop it. Dunkin' Donut, emblazoned with a Dunkin' Donuts insignia. Dunkin' Donuts font. It's on the cup. I think I put it on a hat. I put it on a shirt. Go get one of those, but get the camp mug. If you buy a camp mug from us at lowlifechopperpodcast.com, I'm going to personally email you a $5 off code for Bump Shop Diaries Hardtail Blend. So go to bumpshopdiaries.com. After you get one of our camp mugs, you're going to need something to fill it with. You're not just going to walk around with an empty fucking mug. So go get some coffee. Support the coffee guy that does choppers. He's a vanner. He does cool shit. Dirt bikes, hunting. He's a cool dude. So go support Rodney. Bumpshopdiaries.com. Get one of our camp mugs. Get some of his hardtail blend. This month's sponsor, John Luke. The sweet baby Jesus in the white pants coming down from on high to bless you lowlifes with the hot sauce, the sweet heat. We're going to be giving away 2 of these bad Larrys right fucking now. We're going to pull 2 names. If your name doesn't get pulled, head on over to staystrongco.org and get the Holy Trinity, the shits in the LCP Chopper Sauce. without further ado, let me get my number picker up here. All right. And a 1, and a 2, and a spin that wheel. It's for all the marbles, boys. 21. All right, let's spin it again, and then I'll reveal both the names. Bro, dude, this is so fucking nuts. I already know who this is. Bro, all right, hold on. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my screen again, just so you guys don't know I'm fucking with you. Who's that? Bro. Number 39. Fish Tank Whiskey. That was not. That is. Way. Dude, I'm not fucking joking.
It is.
Guys, you're seeing it here. I spun the fucking wheel. I'm showing you the fucking actual sheet. It's 39. That's all above board. I know last week I was talking some shit. I kind of put that out into the ether. I put that out into the universe. And look at us. If you will it, it is no dream. We also got number 21, Jared Bake. He won before. He won another one. That's Bake 2 weeks, I believe. Fucking A, dude. Jared. And Fish Tank. First time winning. And guys, we were afraid this was going to happen. And in fact, after Fish Tank listened to the fucking episode, he goes, I better not fucking win. But dude, we put that out there. In the cosmos. We willed it to happen. I'm so happy that that happened. Fish Tank. Sorry it wasn't like Oxford bars or fucking like something super cool. But I'm not even gonna ship this to you because I'm gonna see you very soon. So I'm gonna hand deliver this to you. And Jared, you get at me with your address. Actually, I could probably just look that up. And I'm gonna send you some motherfucking chopper sauce. So congratulations to our longest running, eldest, most handsome laddie, Fish Tank Whiskey. All right.
Round of applause for that. Bitch.
Dude, that was so fucking weird. That is really bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can convince people that that wasn't a setup, but that was not a setup. Because that's just too strange. And what a fucking idiot I would be if I somehow fucking did that, you know? Like, I'm a little embarrassed that it was Fish Tank because it's so perfect. But anyways, you guys all saw it. We had it up there. We spun the wheel, Loctite. I only spun it twice. I didn't just keep on spinning until I got that fucking number.
Cheated, ladies and gentlemen. Solo hoax.
He deserves it. Because he's paid us $1,000 since he started donating to Patreon. Hey, thanks for the $1,000, Fish Tank. Here's a bottle of sauce.
Tell people that.
All right, we got how much he's given over the years.
People are gonna start canceling. Like, I spent how much?
They're supporting the show. This is just a benefit. This is just added. This is extra. All right, what do we got? So that's we got shows. Next big show you're gonna have to come to. You do not want to miss this. The Deadbeat Retreat. The flagship Lowlife Chopper podcast campout. It's going to be August 9th through 11th at the Blackthorn Resort. This is Chopper Boy paradise. It's got bars. It's got woods you can run around naked in. It has a river that runs through it where you can fucking drink water when you're all fucked up on LSD and get dysentery and die. But I can't think of a better place to die than with your fellow lowlifes at the Blackthorn Resort. Maybe you die at the reggae pool party. There's going to be like 4 different bands too. Geezer Town's playing. I was listening to them today. They fucking kick ass, dude. So again, Blackthorn Resort. Go over to deadbeatcustoms.com. Secure your ticket today. And if you think you're going to get one of those nice hotel rooms with the jacuzzi, they're all sold out. If you want a bed, if you're taking your old lady and you don't want to sleep in the fucking goddamn dirt with her, you want to bang her like a gentleman on a nice soft bed, you better get over there and book one of their other suites because they're going fast. Or just be a fucking lowlife and pass out in the dirt. All right. Any other shows of note?
The Smoke Out, September 5th through the 8th. Rowan County Fairgrounds, Salisbury, North Carolina. There's live music, wet t-shirt contest, bike shows, mini bike racing, tankful bike art display where No Luck Paintworks is painting a beautiful fucking gas tank for it. World's Strongest Biker, burnout contest, vendors, great food, and tons of camping. This is the official chopper party. Make sure you save the motherfucking date and go support those motherfucking Southern chopper people. It's always a good time when the northern guys go down south and party. I promise.
Do Civil War reenactments on our choppers.
It's the North versus the South in every biker game.
That would be cool. We should do that.
Yeah, that's what I was telling fucking Turd and Ronnie at Backroad, that we should do a North versus South backyard barbecue fucking biker game.
I'd make it down for that. Represent the
That
Northeast,
shit
dude.
be sick.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, it'd be dope as fuck.
We'd all dress up like in period garb, like we're old soldiers. Old timey shit. Have fucking mutton chops and shit.
Oh, you fucking cunt. Having fat fingers sucks.
Yeah, how do you use a phone?
Dude, it's so...
Do you have to use a stylus?
I have a stylus. I never use it, though. Cheap Thrills, Saturday, October 12th. New Jersey Motor Sports Park in Millville, New Jersey. From what I've heard, this show is going to be bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. All right? So make sure you fucking mark down your calendar. October 12th, New Jersey Motorsports Park, Millville, New Jersey. It's going to be fucking dope. It's at a goddamn racetrack. People are going to be racing motorcycles. It's going to be fucking sick. There's a swap meet. There's a chopper show. There's vendors. It's going to be fucking sick. These guys never fail to put on the most amazing fucking show. Cheap Thrills is always a blast. So make sure you save the date, and maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah. Yeah, that show was not on my radar. Like, I knew it was happening again, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make the trip down there. But I just checked out Big Truth podcast. He had Walter on from Kickstart Cycles, and it sounds like a fucking blast. They're doing like vintage bagger racing.
Yeah, fucking
so
sick.
I think they're gonna be racing like as the show is going on. Like you're gonna be walking around, there's gonna be motorcycles. It's gonna be fucking dope.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Big fan of that.
In New Jersey was pretty nice. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised last time I went there. So I might have to go check it out again. I wouldn't
say that. It's a cool place though.
Well, the beach was nice. Actually, I don't think I stepped on the sand. I was on the boardwalk. The pizza was good.
The pizza was good. There was good pizza.
Oh, shit.
Anywho,
I think I put a buy us a slice up. I think I put up a buy us a slice.
Are you sitting on a casting couch? What the fuck?
I'm sitting on a couch. I
never see you sitting on a couch. Is that where you sit every week?
No, dude, this is the new setup. I'm backlit. Yeah.
I was going to say, I've never seen this before.
I got a whole new setup, dude. Look at that.
Bang, bro.
Yeah, I got the fucking legit. I'm trying to get legit here, dude. I got like multiple cameras set up. I'd like to do some in-person interviews if we can get some fucking people to come up here.
Big fancy.
Yeah, dude. We're taking this shit seriously. This can turn into a casting couch.
What do you think about that? Look at my blur background.
Yeah, see, I took my blur off. I want you guys to see all this foam paneling I put up.
You can't see it, but right here, boobies. Boobies.
I want to get one of those dope ass backdrops that says like Low Life Chopper Podcast.
Yeah, we should do one with me and you standing back to back with our shirts off, holding Modelo's.
Yeah, I love that.
Just have like our fucking gut. Our guts are just like sticking out, like we're pregnant. We're just holding fucking
That's the only way my gut does
Oh,
now. I can't suck. I'm beyond sucking it in.
yeah. Dude,
It
listen
just
to
it
this.
just hangs.
Here's a backdrop. This can be a backdrop for our easy up at shows. It's me and you, right? Picture this. We're kind of standing shoulder to shoulder, so we're like quartering away, but still facing forward. Got the bellies out, looking all pregnant and shit with a happy trail. But then we're holding, each of us are holding a 12-pack of Modelo's wrapped up in a blanket like a baby. We could sell that as a poster.
We should do a calendar like that. Some
Of just
boudoir
like
photography. We'll
ridiculous
have Chopper
poses.
Fisher do it.
Ridiculous
Yeah,
poses.
just like really all shirtless, some pantless,
yeah,
trying to
really
look
like
sexy.
really like suspicious photography.
Yeah. Yeah, Lady Lowlifes, let us know. We got over 5% now. Lady Lowlife listenership.
I think there's gonna be more male listeners that are gonna be like, yeah, fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
covered
let's
this
send
last
it-
week. Choppers
Let's
is the
send it
gayest
out for the
hobby.
guys. Let's send it out for the guys. Everybody wants a shirtless low life calendar in their garage.
You know what? You know
Imagine
what we should do
that's a topic. Think about it. It's Thanksgiving. You got all the in-laws over. You're hanging in the garage. Your father-in-law walks out to like see what kind of weird shit you're doing in the garage, and you get a calendar of these two studs with like shirts off, maybe eating jelly beans out of each other's belly buttons.
Okay. I'm in. You had me at jelly beans. But you know what? What we should do is we shouldn't have people buy it. We should actually just randomly send it to people so they have to have it.
We'll put it on the.
It just shows up and their wife
fucking-
will be like, "What the fuck is this?"
We'll sell them for a low price because we're not rich. We're probably the two poorest people I know.
Yeah, I'm definitely the poorest person I know.
And Chopper Fisher's going to cost some money, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I go like hang out with the bums and shit just so I can feel like rich.
Classy, yeah. Yeah, why do you think I like riding around in Manchester and Boston? Take a ride down Skid Row and I'm like, fucking losers.
Yeah. You need an ego boost. Just go seek out some people that are shittier than you.
Yeah, I could just go to the fucking AIDS clinic and I'm like, I'm doing good.
Yeah, just hang out at the methadone clinic. They're like, do you want some methadone? No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm clean. Just want to see all these fuck ups.
Fucking A.
All
yeah,
right.
so watch out for that. There's going to be a calendar coming out. There's going to be a calendar coming out. We'll drop it maybe Christmas time. We'll drop it before Christmas so you can buy it for your favorite loved ones. That way you get it for the whole year.
Yeah, you need 12 months of us.
Because then we can do like spring, summer, fall, and winter photography.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to get a photographer to agree to this. The terms of this calendar.
Chopper Fisher. Chopper Fisher's going to love it.
All right. So that's going to be a thing. We got 6
I
months.
want one in the fall where like I'm riding on your back like a horse.
I'm like a pony.
Yeah.
You have like stirrups and shit on me.
I wear just my cowboy boots.
Dude, what the fuck?
Chopper Fisher, when you hear this, hit us up. We got some ideas.
we need your creative input though. We want it to be smutty but also kind of classy.
What we should do, here's what we should do. We should do a 2. We'll shoot 2 calendars. We'll do one that's like legit. We'll get like pictures of us like riding and like at shows and et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll make a funny one. And then when you buy one, you get both.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because then you can have the cool one at work and then the weird one in your garage. And then every Friday on the calendar, it'll just say, it's Friday, motherfuckers.
Yeah, actually, on the calendar, instead of having like Sunday through Saturday, every day is Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be sick.
I love this.
This calendar sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it's just totally worthless because it's just every day is Friday. You can't plan anything out. You can't use it.
They're just cool pictures, and that's it. And they're not even cool pictures.
And it's like every day it just says it's Friday, motherfucker. Just fucking like 31 times every month. Yeah. That's fucking awesome. All right, we got. Oh, do you have any shout outs?
Shout out Jerry from 812 Inc., the motherfucking homie from way back. Keeping it 100 all the motherfucking time, never changing up. I appreciate you, dog. For all you guys listening, he is raffling a Sportster. There's only like 8 spots left. Go fucking fill that bitch up, and he'll draw the fucking winner. It's a clean, sporty, never been molested, and comes with a title. Good fucking deal. Check him out. 812 Inc. on Instagram.
Oh yeah, dude, that thing's not sold out yet.
No, there's 8 spots left.
That thing's sick, dude.
Yeah.
What is it? $69 or something?
$69.
Yeah. Jerry knows how to do it. $69. It's always $69.
Yeah.
Last week, I was meeting up with my boy Moose. I met up with my boy Moose.
Moose.
Shout out to Moose getting his first motorcycle, man. Well, actually, not his first motorcycle. But I don't think his wife would let him ride for the longest time. And he just picked up a scoot, and it's fucking sick. It looks like yours. I think it's the same as yours. It's got like the fishtails, all that shit. Choloed the fuck out.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. But good for you, buddy. Living your best life, and we had a blast.
Good for you, bucko.
Yeah, bucko. We had a fucking killer time. I stayed up way too late, got way too drunk, smoked way too many cigarettes. It fucking kicked ass. And we're gonna go riding this summer. And that boy is a hunter. You'd love him. You would love Moose, dude. He's a big hunter. He's from South Dakota. He's like an Indian dude.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, dude, he's like
God
legit.
damn, Moose.
Yeah. You guys, we should definitely get together. But yeah, all right, we got to get into this motherfucking episode. You're not here to talk about Loctite eating jelly beans out of my motherfucking belly button. Or maybe you are. I don't know. You guys are kind of weird.
If not,
you're kind of kooky. I fucking hate jelly beans, by the way. I will not eat a mother. You'll never catch me with a jelly bean in my mouth.
Dude, I'll smash a whole bag of Jelly Bellies in one sitting.
How do you eat them one at a time, or you just scoop them into your mouth?
Oh, handfuls.
But they all taste different.
I don't give a motherfuck.
So you're going to eat a strawberry one? You're going to eat like a strawberry and a popcorn and like a root beer together?
Love it.
Oh, dude, that's fucking gross.
I ate so many jelly beans one time that I had to go to the emergency room because I had such a bad toothache.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I smashed like 3 bags in like a day and a half.
Oh, yeah, you were feeding that goat fucking jelly beans. Was that goat's name? Nubs? You always... I was like, why does this motherfucker have a bag of jelly beans on him? Now I know.
Love jelly beans. I've been a jelly bean dude from way back.
Before it was cool. Have you ever tried the fucking jelly beans that taste like shit? They taste like grass clippings and puke and shit.
Yeah, and like rotten eggs and boogers and yeah. I forgot the name of that. It's like a game you play, but I did it with my kids.
Yeah, it has like a little spinner thing, and you have to like pick one.
Yeah,
dude, that's rough, dude. The vomit one, that one is fucking heinous, dude.
All of them were pretty fucking bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Dude, I have the stuff in his nose. I hate it.
Got allergies there?
Oh, bad. Anyways, this fucking episode, we're jumping into a more in-depth Chopper 101. This is like Chopper 101 after dark. This is Chopper 101, the advanced class. This is Chopper 101. I didn't get my GED. I got my high school diploma. This is Chopper 101. I'm fucking going to grad school.
Yeah. You guys don't need to go back to school in the fall. This is all the education you need, bud.
Yeah. Real life shit over here.
So, first up in this Choppin 102 masterclass, we're going to go from the ground up. And we're going to start where the rubber meets the road. I just came up with that. You guys can use that. I just invented that. We're going to start with tires. We're going to talk a little bit about like the different kinds, and how to fucking do, if you really want to hate your life, how to change a tire. So yeah, first off, you start with a rim. Okay. Um, rim. A lot of dudes, they'll go to a swap meet and they'll get a shitty old rim. The sought after rims are like, the ones like Star Hub and shit like that. Um, but then a lot of you dudes, like if you haven't done it before, you don't know like what fucking tire to put on it, right? Like it's one thing if you have like a newer Harley or whatever, you just go to the Harley dealership and you go, I'll take another one of these. You know what I
I'll
mean?
tell you what, the rim part of it, lowbrow customs. You get chrome plated wheel.
Oh, just get a new
wheels. I just buy them new because it's like, if you're running spokes, you might as well just buy a fucking new one. One, it's gonna look better. Two, you don't have to worry about somebody else that beat the fuck out of the rim. And they're not that much.
I've never bought
lowbrow
I've
customs.
never bought a new one.
I buy new ones every time I do a build.
They look really nice.
They're kind of
They
expensive
look brand
now
new, yeah.
because of all this inflation shit, and you're gonna see that. I'm gonna try to pull up prices as we talk the shit, just so you have like an idea.
Yeah.
But for a 21-inch spool wheel, just for no front brake, the way God intended, you're looking at $269 at lowbrow. I know that
It did go up, yeah.
Stings a little bit, like fuck shit. Lowbrow
Especially
has
if you need two of them.
affirm everything. Affirm your life away. It's like $19 a fucking month to get brand new rims on your fucking bike. It's a good deal.
Yeah, if you do a firm, I don't know why my voice just cracked like I'm hitting second puberty, but if you're getting if you're getting two rims, let's say if you do the affirm shit, does that like snowball? Like if you have a payment for one purchase and then you go back and you purchase something else, do you just have one affirm bill? Or is it like two different things? I've never used affirm.
I think it just like keeps going.
Okay.
And then for a real wheel, depending where you get it, you can go anywhere from like 150 to 260.
Yeah. I mean, that can be pretty costly because you're going to spend another over $200 on tires too.
Yeah. So,
and you need at least two minimum.
So speaking of tires, the Avon safety mileage, which is what you see almost everybody running on the rear. There's two pluses to this tire. Is one, it looks cool. It has like that vintage look. Like that zigzag fucking tread pattern. The thing I like about it is it has that thick sidewall. So I've talked about this before. When you have that thick sidewall, you can run the PSI a little bit lower, and that gives you a little bit of bounce on your rigid frame. So it makes it so it's not, it gives you a little bit of suspension all in one with the tire. In those, I haven't bought one in a while. I'm looking at the price right now. What do you think it is?
200?
$239.
Okay. Damn, dude.
It looks like if you shop around, you can get a little bit cheaper, it looks like. Depending on sizes, too. And then for the Avon Speedmaster, which is what you see everybody else running in the front usually, it just has like the lines ripping through it. Again, it looks like a vintage tire. On Amazon, it's the one that pops up, is $137. So that's really not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is like how much you want to spend, because if you're gonna get you should definitely get brand new tires.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do brand new rims and tires, dude, that's $500 back and front, right?
Yeah.
260 and 240, and then
it all depends though on
that's
like
$1,000.
It depends on what kind of tire you want to run though. You know what I mean? Do you want that vintage fucking look, or do you want a tire that's gonna be grippy and fucking soft? And for that, go the Shenko 777. I think that's the best rear tire for like something that you want that's gonna really grab the road. Those ones go for $150 for a rear.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as for spokes, cleaning spokes, really, really difficult. You can get, I mean, if you get a rim that's straight, you can re-spoke it, and if the rim is usually not like the shittiest part, but you can re-spoke it, and spokes are cheap, relatively speaking, rather than getting the whole rim, so you can go that route too. But if you have like mag wheels or solid wheels, those clean up real nice. You can get those Vapor Hone, dude, and they look brand new. So if you already have mags or solid, I would say just send it to a Vapor Honer. Get it fucking looking brand new.
So Shenko jumped on board and started making those vintage looking tires. You can get the 21-inch Shenko vintage style front tire, $119.
I haven't heard good things about the Shankos, but I haven't ran one myself.
So here's the thing: is I first time ever bought a Shenko front tire for this shovel build. It actually looks cool, but I just noticed the sidewall. I noticed like last week the sidewall has a defect in it, and the rubber is all like fucking wavy. It's not like broken belt wavy, but like the rubber itself looks like it got like scrunched. So now I can't run that fucking tire. It was a waste of money. I mean, I guess I could.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
But with it being on a sidewall and on the front, I'm just not going to.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with that, dude.
Yeah. Brand new tire. It's literally never been on the road. It got put on this rim and has been sitting on a lift. It's never fucking been on the road ever.
That's so fucked up.
So, yeah, super fucking aggravating on that.
That's fucking lame, dude. I mean, yeah, so as far as tires go, you touched on it. I mean, there's two different types. There's like a modern tire and a vintage tire. And the modern tire has a shorter profile. Vintage tires have a taller profile. And
but the other huge difference though is the sidewalls are different. But on a modern tire, you have more tire like rubber to road than you do with the vintage tire.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, like if you look at like what Harley mostly does, I mean, they're Dunlop. You know, like if you have a Sportster, you're gonna have like the D402 or whatever in the rear, and the grooves are not very deep because a tire is just like a very simple water pump, right? Like the pressure of the tire pushing down forces water into those little treads and ejects it away from the tire, so the rubber maintains contact with the road. And if you have knobby tires or like a vintage tread pattern, those, like especially with knobby tires, think like dirt bike tires or those Baja tires, you have less contact with the road because there's deeper grooves and wider grooves. So it's not going to handle as well in wet conditions, but dry conditions, I think it's kind of negligible. Yeah. But where knobby tires really come in is like dirt, you know. Like I like knobby tires because I live on a dirt road, and even the paved roads around me are covered like with a light dusting of dirt, you know, so it gets a little bit slick. But yeah, I mean, most people go with a vintage looking tire for a vintage looking chopper. So I mean, a couple things to.
I'm running this shovel build, like the modern, like fucking Dunlop style.
You are okay.
That's what I did on my last shovel build too, and I don't know, I just like it on the shovel. The shovel's a bigger motor, so you can get away with like a not wide. I mean, I guess wider tire, but like a fuller tire. It doesn't look as weird as it does with a Sportster or something.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. You can mix and match too, because I think I did a vintage tire on my shovel head. I did the Bajas front and back, and they actually have like both profiles. They have like, I think it's a Baja 90 and a Baja 100. And the front tire has a higher profile because I wanted like a bigger looking front tire, you know, because it physically is higher up, so it makes the tire look bigger. And then in the back, just so I had a lower profile just so I could get like the fender over the tire with like very little clearance, you know, because I have a flat fender, so it doesn't like really wrap around. But yeah, you know, from my experience, it's like the thickness of the tire matters a lot when it comes to handling more than anything else that I can think of. I had a bunch of bikes, but like I've had, was it like the Nightster? They have, I think it's like a 16 front and rear, and they're super wide tires. And having a fat front tire fucking sucks for handling. But it performs better, I think, like just in a straight line, like on a highway or something. Because the bigger bikes, they have those larger front tires. But skinny front tires handle so much better because, the tire, its profile, it's not like a fucking cartoon, right? It's not like a perfect oval. There's actually like a lip, you know what I mean? It's kind of more like a rectangle, right? So like skinnier tires, when you're going to be hitting that lip and being able to corner, better than like a big fat tire. It's not gonna like really dig in and corner. Um, but the modern tires, I'd say like those Dunlops, they're fucking really good tires.
Yeah.
They don't
Well, that's
look as cool, but they handle
the
really
the
great
big
in like
difference.
more conditions.
Yeah, yeah. The big difference is on like when you run the Avon in the rear, that tire just comes up like this, like it has straight sidewalls, and then it's capped at the top. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it just comes up and then curves right over. On the newer tires, the sidewall comes up like this, so it like curves out and gives you a more like turning radius. That's why you can bring the bike way further down with these kind of tires.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it puts way more fucking rubber on the road. It'll handle more fucking torque with these tires. And not saying that the shovel is going to be a fast motorcycle. It's not. I'm not doing anything for fucking motor. But I just like having those tires on the shovels for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing about tires is, and I was going to ask you about this because I always get it mixed up. Tube versus tubeless.
Yeah.
Now, if you have spokes, you absolutely need a tube because
They make tubeless spokes now.
they do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Almost
even
all of
trust
them are
that shit,
tubeless
dude.
now. Yeah, a lot of them are
Really?
tubeless now. Yeah. Like the ones at Lowbrow and TC Bros. They have like, and when they say tubeless, it's literally like, it looks like fucking silicone is on the inside of the rim, and it just covers all of where your spoke holes are.
Oh
I
yeah,
still run a
okay.
fucking tube every goddamn time, but online it says tubeless rim. I highly recommend to run the tube.
Yeah, dude. I mean, how long before that silicone run wears out or something? Like it just seems
Yeah,
like I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with it.
yeah,
I'd because you can't go. I mean, why not have a tube?
yeah.
Like it
Put a
sucks to
tube in tubeless
install.
tires. Fuck it.
It sucks. It sucks to put a tube in if you're doing it yourself. But if you're having someone else do it, then fuck it. Tubes are super cheap. They're super
Very
cheap,
cheap. They're like
and
fucking
if you're not
$14.
doing the change yourself, then you don't have to worry about fucking that tube up. Have a professional do it and throw a tube in there. But yeah, I mean, with the spoked rims, you're also gonna have like that what is it, that rubber strip that goes around that like kind of covers all those holes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're gonna put a tube in. Now installation. So let's say you have a tire and you need to change it. This is probably my least favorite thing I've ever done on a bike is to change a tire manually, like with tire spoons.
Yeah, it's not
Holy
ideal.
fucking shit, dude. Well, you know, first thing you're gonna have to get is a set of tire spoons, and there's a bunch of different kinds. The one I use is from Motion Pro, and it's pretty good and for the price, So like the thing is you can get something super cheap, um, but you're gonna be really putting a lot of effort into breaking that bead, right? So like all your tires are gonna have a bead. You guys already know this stuff, but there's gonna be a bead that you have to break to get it off. Here's the part that sucks the most. You're typically working on your chopper in the dead of winter, and you're trying to break a bead on a piece of rubber in a garage that's like 30 degrees. And that makes it even harder. So like you boys down in Florida or whatever, you guys get to just change tires willy-nilly whenever you want. But I had to actually heat mine up. Like I put it in front of the pellet stove and like heated the rubber up. And then there's a method to breaking the bead that I use is with C-clamps. It seems to be the easiest one. You can just like throw a C-clamp, put a block of wood underneath, rest the backside of the C-clamp on, and then just drill it down till that bead breaks. And then get your spoons in there and just go to town, fucking up your rim. That's the other thing that sucks with the spoons is I don't know how people do it like without fucking up their rim.
Well, you
Because
can
you got to
buy
put a
the
lot of fucking
plastic.
pressure on them.
You can buy those plastic sleeves that go over them.
Oh yeah, the little shim thing, the little
Yeah.
yeah. There's not a lot of working space in there though, you know, like it just I for the cost of like a tire changer, you know, like typically you're not gonna change so many fucking tires that you're gonna purchase a tire changing machine, you know.
Well, I mean, you
But
can get
dudes that
that one
have
from
them at the
Harbor
shop,
Freight. Harbor Freight has that tire changing machine.
how much does that go for?
Let me check while you fucking finish talking about that. But I remember they have
Yeah,
one. It's
because
like a manual tire
that's a
changing
manual.
machine.
Yeah, it'd probably still be better though than just spoons, because
Oh, it's got it.
you know, because you have to keep it stationary, and that I'm assuming that thing just breaks the bead all around. You know, so you're not like using a bunch of spoons to try to get it up over the lip.
$64, bud.
Okay, so that's probably worth it. I would probably
You can do
that.
car tires on it if you need.
Then I would definitely do that because car tires, yeah.
Oh, dude, they have the Pittsburgh mini tire changer, $50. You get yourself a 25% discount code. Fucking styling.
Yeah. Okay. So go to Harbor Freight and get one of those motherfuckers. That I should probably do that. I mean, there's some places that'll do a tire change for fucking $20.
So also you can get a full spoon set with 3 pry bars, and it comes with those coatings I was talking about. Comes with the air release tools. Comes with valve stems and caps. $17.
Okay, that's really cheap.
So you can get into a full setup for spoons and the machine for $80.
That's not bad. I'd do the machine for sure.
Or you can just buy a nationwide 430 economy tire changer, run off air for $1,300.
But you can just do that. Yeah, you should just do that then. That'll probably be easier.
Yeah.
You know how many fucking tires you need to change to make that worth it? I guess if you're in it for the long haul. 1,300.
Like 10 tires.
Actually, you know what? When I was doing my tire change on the shovel head in wintertime, I probably would have paid someone $1,300 to do it for me. Because it's that fucking frustrating. But you did bring up a good thing that I totally forgot about is the valve stem tool. That thing's super handy. Oh, yeah. And they're super, dude, they cost like 99 cents. And I use mine all the time for all sorts of shit. But yeah, you're going to take that core out, you know, and deflate the tire first, obviously. You don't want to be breaking beads when it's full of fucking air. But once you wrestle that motherfucker off, and beat the shit out of it, dude, I beat the shit out of my rim. But luckily for me, it was aluminum. So I just like polished it up, just scuffed it up a little bit, polished. That was the solid rear wheel that I have on the shovel. And then installation is a fucking bear too, dude, because especially if you have spokes and you're putting a tube in there, I blew through at least 3 tubes. That's the most tragic thing.
I've never done more than 1 tube, like fucked up more than one. But there's a good chance that like when I buy tires, I always buy 2 tubes if I'm doing the tire myself.
Yeah,
because it's so easy. Like,
yeah, definitely
it's
get a
so
pair.
easy to pinch the tube, and then you're just fucked. You gotta start over, which is the worst part. I don't even care about pinching the tube and like fucking the tube up and having to use another tube. That doesn't even piss me off. What pisses me off is starting over.
Yeah, yeah. The first one I did, I went through 2 tubes, but I only ordered 1 tube like a fucking idiot the first time, so I had to wait for the tube to come in. And then the second tire I did, I just got 3. I just got 3 tubes, and I used them all.
So the way that I do it is I put the tube in the tire, and then where the valve stem pops down, I'll put that side on first, because that's supposedly the thickest part of the tire too. That's where like that red circle's on the tire. So you put that there, and I'll pop that side on first, and that will leave like just a tiny little bit sticking through the hole in the rim. And then I'll start working that tire on, and as you work the tire on, that will come through more and more and more. But now that tube's on the inside of the tire, it's a lot harder to pinch it.
Yeah. Yeah, getting that valve stem through can be a fucking pain in the ass, dude. I have a tool. It's like a fishing tool, and you feed it through, and you get it on. It threads onto the stem, and then you stick the tube in, and you can kind of fish it out through the rim. and that also keeps it from like falling back in when you're like wrenching around on this thing. But yeah, definitely get like a couple of I would say 2-3 tubes, because they're cheap. You know, you can get them super cheap on Amazon and shit, and just have them laying around if you do need a tube down the line too. The other thing you're going to want to do, soap and water. Lube that tire, buddy. When you're putting that thing on, if you go in dry, bro, no spit, no lube.
I've seen people rip tires.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've gotten fucking close, dude. Like, wrenching that thing on there with the spoons, I'm like, this thing looks like it's going to fucking rip. Like, you're putting a lot of fucking pressure on it. I don't know. Maybe I've only done a couple of tires, and I was like, fuck this. And I just bring them to Tire Warehouse now. But if you're going to do it, I mean, if you're one of those dudes that brings spoons with you in your fucking tool bag on the side of the road, God bless you, dude. I don't know. I mean, how people do it.
I've also done it with...
Probably it's a technique.
I've done it with zip ties before, too, though.
I tried that. It didn't have much success.
Actually, I did one with grease with zip ties, too. I've done the zip tie thing a couple of times.
So basically, the principle behind the zip ties is you're squeezing both sides of the tire into the rim, and then when you take the zip ties off, both beads will kind of set, right? Yeah. And you did that with a tube in there, too? So you put the tube in there and the zip tie around the whole fucking thing? Yeah. Yeah, dude, I tried that shit. I couldn't get it, you know? Again, it's like, depends on what kind of tire you have. Those Bates tires are thick, dude. Lots of rubber on those with the knobs and shit. And in the cold, it makes it like really hard, you know? But my suggestion is, if I can send it out, get someone to mount it for you. Like, there's places that'll do it for $20.
That's the other thing, too, is like when you pick your tire, when you run like the Avons and shit like that, they have a softer wall. And with that softer wall,
oh yeah, true,
it makes it harder to set the fucking the tire to get it to seat.
Yeah,
because they're just so floppy. It's a pain in the fucking dick. When you have a little bit more of a stout sidewall, it's harder to put the tire on, but it's easier to seat the bead.
Yeah, true. All right. Anything else about tires?
I don't think so. I think that's a pretty good crash course on. Pretty much, you just got to figure out what you're trying to do, and then go with the tire that fits you best. Or if you're just like, fuck it, I don't care what I'm trying to do or what kind of riding I do. I think this tire looks the best. Do that.
Yeah, so just get the tire that you like.
Yeah, at least now you have a little bit of info on it.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, like, shopping for tires is fucking overwhelming, because there is, and where I'll just flash this up here, but like, finding the right tire is pretty easy once you understand how to decode the stuff that's on the side. So if you're taking a tire off, and a lot of the times it's like stamped into the rim what the maximum, you know, size is and things like that for a tire. Just look up like tire codes or whatever the fuck they call them, and just, you know, find the one that fits the rim that you have. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking options out there. There's a lot of tire companies, and you get fucking wild, dude. Some people put like car tires on and shit. But you know, if you're like first time builder and you're listening to this show and you're just trying to fucking figure it out, I would just get you know, you're probably already going to have a roller or whatever. Get a cool looking tire that has the same, you know, dimensions or whatever that'll fit that rim. All right, so we want to move on to brakes. This is probably it's at the forefront of every chopper builder is safety and braking, right?
Well, it's hard.
How many brakes can I get on this thing?
The hard thing is like figuring out which brake system you can use with your hardtail, which one's going to work better for your bike. If you want to do dual caliper, you want front brakes, no front brakes, master cylinders. That's all the shit that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and most chopper dudes are going to lose the front brake because it looks better. I'm a front brake enthusiast, and there's plenty of us out there that enjoy a front brake. But the two different kinds of brakes, you're either going to have, you know, especially with the older bikes, it's going to be a drum brake or a mechanical brake. or a disc brake or a hydraulic brake. Now, the drum brakes kind of suck ass, but they do brake. Technically, they slow the bike down sometimes. But if that's how it came and you're just going to run the drum, I would definitely recommend rebuilding it so you understand how it works, and definitely get some new pads, especially if you only have one fucking brake and it's a drum brake. Yeah. Disc brakes, that's what you're going to have, like typically front and rear. Yeah. I mean, you get so much more out of a hydraulic system. Like, that's why, like, a mechanical drum can only, your foot can only apply so much fucking pressure, right? Like, with a hydraulic system, it's like, it's almost infinite. It's just, it's so much more efficient of a system. So you're gonna, let's go into the hydraulic brake. The drum brake thing, it's just like, it is what it is. Get some new pads, and it's pretty much the simplest setup. I mean, it's mechanical, so it can only, it's gonna break when you push a fucking lever and it moves the lever. So there's not much to cover there. With the hydraulic brakes, it's a little bit more sophisticated, right? You get things like, obviously, how many pistons, right? So you're going to have, 2 or 4 pistons. The more pistons, the more surface area on the rotor that it's going to cover, more friction, and it's going to be more effective, right? So all the upgraded brakes, right? Any caliper that you get that's upgraded, like if you get a PM or what's the other fucking big one? They're typically like 4 pistons. They're pretty big, but they have a lot of stopping power. I also highly recommend, if you're tearing your whole bike down, rebuild the caliper. It's pretty easy to rebuild a caliper. And especially if you only have one brake and it's the rear brake, rebuild that caliper. Pop those pistons out, like, this fucking thing's been on the road collecting brake dust is like the shittiest shit to get off your fucking out. It gets everywhere. It's dust, so it gets like into every little crevice. It hardens. It's super hard to like even scrub off. So break that bitch apart. They're pretty simple. I mean, you can take it apart. You have to take it off anyway, so it's already off the fucking bike. Go ahead and clean it up. They sell kits, rebuild kits. Super simple to put in. There's really not a lot to them. So break that bitch apart, clean it out. I think the rebuild kits too come with pistons. I think mine came with some, new pistons, new seals. Super easy. Really short money too. Those rebuild kits are not a lot of money. So rebuild that fucking bitch. And then the second half, right, of the hydraulic system, and Dan's gonna love this. He's a big hydraulic guy. Is the master cylinder, right? So you're gonna have, on a rear brake, the master cylinder is down, by your foot, and when you press on the brake pedal, it's gonna push in a plunger, right? And it's going to apply pressure to the hydraulic fluid, and it's going to, it has nowhere to go except to press those pistons in. And there's different bores. So, there's like 5/8, 9/16, 11/16. The bigger the bore size is a decrease in pedal effort and an increase in pedal travel, right? So on a bike, I mean, and the reason I bring it up is, on a bike, you're like, oh, well, I'll just get the biggest bore that I can. But it's like, you actually don't want to apply pressure to your brake and have the fucking thing lock up, right? Because on these older bikes, they don't have like ABS. So you kind of want them, I don't know, maybe it's a personal preference. I want mine a little spongy. I don't want that fucking wheel to lock up, because sometimes you're in traffic and you have to pound on that brake, and you don't necessarily want it to stop moving completely. So bore size, like on Sportsters, like newer, early aughts, that period of Sportsters, they're probably, I think they're like 9/16 bore on the master cylinder. And then there's, the other thing is typically there's different bore sizes at the master and at the caliper too, right? From my experience, I don't think like, I mean, it does make a difference, right? Because you're compressing the fluid, and if you have if you don't have the same bore size, if they're not matched, then it's not going to be an equal effect type of thing. Um, but yeah, just as far as master cylinders go, uh, they really get up there in price for aftermarket stuff. So if you are using, I would say like most people typically will reuse the master cylinder that they already have on the rear. And if you are running a front brake, there's not a lot of options for mini master cylinders up on the handlebars. And the ones that look the best are fucking expensive.
Stupid.
They're like $400, $375. They look awesome though. Like when you see them in person, you're like, fucking shit, dude, they're tiny. Uh, I don't think like having a small cylinder, master cylinder on your rear brake, nobody really cares. So they don't really make those that small. They're just kind of like, it is what it is. And they're actually kind of cheap too. Those ones are actually pretty cheap on the rear. But if you are going to run a master cylinder on your front, uh, it's like the most economic thing is just to like change out the lever and fucking run the one that came with the bike. Uh, or you can do like a remote master, which I'll get into how I build that out. But there's a couple more things on braking that I want to get to. Uh, so bleeding brakes. Typically when you, I don't even know if you'd call it bleeding, because like when you rip a bike apart, everything's empty. So like if you were gonna just change out the fluid, I wouldn't even bother. Like especially with the .5 and shit. Like the older uh brake fluid kind of sucked, and it like I think it aged worse. I don't know. .5 I've never had a problem with. Uh really getting like nasty and shit. But if you do bleed your brakes, I mean, you bleed it out, and you just what that means is you're not emptying the system, you're just pouring more in as you're bleeding it out the back. Um and there's a couple of ways to do that. All of them suck in my opinion, and none of them work really well for me, dude. I've done more brake bleeding than probably anything on all of these bikes. And there's the old fashioned way, where basically you just pump the master cylinder to build up pressure, and then down at the caliper there's going to be a bleeder, and you're going to put a little wrench on there, and you turn it, you crack that open, and the pressure gets relieved through the master, the pressure that you built up, and you're going to be squeezing the brake, or if it's the foot brake, you're going to be pressing that pedal, and it just bleeds out. So if you're starting net new with like nothing in the system, air is your fucking enemy when it comes to hydraulics, because it compresses so much quicker than fluid. So you really don't want any air bubbles in your hydraulic line, because it's just not going to be as effective, right? Like you're going to be applying a lot of pressure, and it's not going to be doing a lot at the brake end. So the other way that you can do bleeding is with a vacuum pump. These things fucking suck ass too, by the way. I have one of those little Mighty Vacs, dude, and I don't think they work. I think that's fucking snake oil. I have not had any fucking luck with that shit. The old-fashioned way works better than a fucking vacuum pump, you know? Uh, and then the third way that I know of is a reverse bleed, where you actually go and bleed it into the caliper. You use like a syringe. So you're not fighting gravity. You're not like forcing the shit down. You're like pushing shit up, right? So you're like basically filling it at the bottom, and then it gets up through the lines and it pops out through the master cylinder. I've had mixed results with that. Sometimes I get brake fluid in my eyeball because I fucking squeeze on the little plunger and the thing, squirts in my face. And sometimes it works like a charm. Which method do you use?
So I usually first I always try the conventional way, because obviously it's the easiest way. It's much easier if you got a second person, because if you're doing a rear brake, it's opposite sides. So usually I'll have like my kid come out, he just pumps the fuck out of the brake. I'll crack the bleeder, let it squirt out, I tighten it, and then have him pump it, etc. If that doesn't work and I just can't get the fucking air out, can't get a good pedal, I reverse bleed. And the way I do that, I just take like a small fucking rubber hose. I'll crack the bleeder, slide the hose right over the bleeder, stick my syringe into the top of the fucking hose, and then I'll squeeze all that down, pull the syringe out, fill that back up, plop it back in, squeeze it down. I'll just keep doing that until I start filling up that bowl. And then once I fill up that bowl, you'll see all the air bubbles coming out while you're doing it and that shit. And then once I stop seeing air bubbles and it's just like straight fluid coming into the bowl, I'll lock that bleeder, fill it up, and then I'll bleed it one more time the traditional way.
Yeah. The traditional way works fine when it's a full system, but it just takes fucking forever when you start with just empty tubes and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the way that it works too, so like most Harleys, you're gonna have banjo bolts, right? So they're pretty cool. It's a bolt. They're either 10 millimeter or like 3/8, I think. I think there's another size too. And basically you screw that onto your hydraulic line. The bolt goes through and it has a little hole in it, right? So it goes through, it's nice and tight, and then it allows fluid to get in there. The other thing about bleeding, which I've also had mixed results on, is bleeder valves. So a bleeder valve, basically, it has a check valve inside of it. So where you bleed, you're on your caliper, you replace it with this bleeder valve, and it has a little ball in it. And what it does is when the liquid's pushing it up, it's able to get out of the valve. But then when you close it, the ball, it's a check valve. It just doesn't let any air back in. And that's one of the most frustrating things, like when you're bleeding the fucking thing and you're getting air in your line through that bleeder, you know? Now, another little hot tip too is the wrench that you use. I found it very difficult to find a 6-point closed wrench for the bleeder valve. Typically they have like the 12 points, and that just like fucking, like after you bleed for a long time, you're going back and forth, the whatever they make those fucking bleeder valves out of, aluminum or whatever the fuck it is, it just like that thing that you're turning on, like that nut portion of it, just rounds right the fuck off.
Just get brake line
so
wrenches.
I haven't tried that.
You get brake line wrenches at any Autopod store, and it's essentially a closed-ended. It's like a box wrench for like the circle end, and it just has a.
It goes like 90% of the way around. Yeah. That's a good tip. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Those are fit perfect for bleeders and fucking brake lines and unions and all that shit.
Yeah, I got mine at a swap meet. You know, some girl had a bunch of tools out, like old vintage tools, and I went through the fucking wrench bucket and I found this thing. And then I haggled with her, and she wouldn't budge, dude. She wanted like $5 for the thing, and I'm like, 2. You know, she's like, 5. And then, dude, we went back and forth until it was like awkward, and I was like, all right, here's $5. But I use that thing all the fucking time.
So you can get a set of brake line wrenches at Harbor Freight for $16.99.
Okay. Yeah. And if anybody has a suggestion on where to get the 6-point closed, like definitely let me know, because I'd like to have more than one. It's a small wrench too. That's the other thing. It's nice and small, so it doesn't get in the fucking way. But yeah, bleeding brakes. I usually bleed them until I get bored, and then I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'll finish bleeding them later, and then I just never do. And my brakes are spongy as fuck. I've never been able to get like really like a decent like, or maybe I don't know, maybe it's just I get bored of it. It's such a tedious task, especially when you're doing it yourself and you're just like, you know, for fucking like 45 minutes and it's still not like done. So fuck that shit. But some brake line components, that you can use that I've personally used. I typically use Goodridge. They come, you can buy banjo bolts with different, straights, 45s, 90s, and then they just thread on, and it's like kind of like interference. So the bottom of the banjo bolt is like curved, and then the line is curved as well. And once you cinch it in, it's watertight or hydraulic fluid tight. And those are just super simple. You can make your own brake lines. They sell kits, so that you can get like the exact length that you need. But I found like Goodridge, you can typically get pretty damn close. They have a lot of stuff, and they're pretty cheap too. And they come in like, you can do chrome or you can do black. So yeah, that's been my experience with brakes. You need them to work mostly, in my opinion. I've been fine. Obviously it would be better if they work better, but it just makes you a little bit more cautious when you're speeding around, because you're like, these fucking brakes don't work. And I've definitely locked them up, and I travel a good distance. But you guys, the number one question that I've gotten since I started the show was, how the fuck do you make a remote master cylinder? And this is one of those things that I really wanted to do on the shovel build, because like most of you, or some of you out there, it's one of the first things you come across digging into the forums trying to find your way. You're trying to figure out how to make your bike cool, and you're like, that would be cool because I'm a pussy and I want a front brake, but I don't want a huge master cylinder on my bike on the handlebar. And I'm also too fucking broke to be dropping $400 on a Craft Tech or whatever. So, I'll give you the rundown how I did it. And there's lots of room for improvement here. But this works, and it actually works better than my rear brake. My front brake definitely works better than my rear brake. So what I did was, first thing you're going to want is you need to have a master cylinder that can be mounted remotely, that can be cable actuated. So what you do is you're going to buy a clutch cable, right? If you're doing, unless you're doing jockey shift, right? Let's say you have a clutch cable, super cheap. I think I got mine at Deadbeat Customs. I think they're like $40 a piece or something like that. And they're aluminum clutch perches. Very simple, super clean. And you're going to buy 2 of those, because you're going to do one for your clutch cable. You're going to do one for your brake cable, which is also going to be a clutch cable. So let's start up at the top. You get a clutch lever, and you're going to want to use a clutch cable. You don't want to use a throttle cable, because you're going to be putting a hell of a lot more pressure on this thing than a throttle cable is going to be able to handle. Clutch cables are like 10 times as thick. So the way I did it was, I took a clutch cable that I had lying around, and I snipped the end off to get it to the length that I needed it. So real quick, how I did that was, I don't have a bird caging tool. I don't have like a soldering, I forget what they call them, like a soldering tin or whatever it is, to like make my own ferrules or whatever the end of the fucking cable's called. So what I did was, I bought some on Amazon for like 10 cents, and they're the little copper ones, and I slid it onto the end. It's a little barrel, and it fits into where the clutch cable is. So inside the clutch lever, there's like a little barrel with a little opening in it, and you can pop it in there, and that's how you catch the clutch, right? What I did was, you can't use like electrical solder. Everybody told me to fucking TIG weld the thing. I tried to TIG weld that thing. It's impossible,
Melted
dude.
it.
Maybe I am not a good TIG welder, but there's no fucking way that you can get like such low current into that thing that it'll actually like melt metal and at the same time not completely incinerate the fucking cable. So I use solder, but if you use I actually did use electrical solder at first, and that thing popped right the fuck off. So you have to use, it's like, I think they call it like construction solder or something like that. It's way beefier and it's a hell of a lot stronger. So all you need is a torch. You can just use everybody should have a propane torch. Just heat up the end of that fucking thing, that little barrel, have it sitting right on the end there, and then just feed the solder in, and then just take a file and any excess or whatever, you can just scrape off. And that's been working for me for 2 years now. And it hasn't popped off. So the soldering method, I think, is pretty good. You just have to make sure that you don't use the fucking electrical solder. Not strong enough. I've been there, done that. So moving down, so you have your cable, and it's going to go somewhere on the bike. So you're going to need a master cylinder that can be cable actuated. So the other end of this clutch cable is going to be same as whatever, depending on what kind of clutch cable. It's typically like a little ball or something, or a barrel on the end of it. And you need to have a master cylinder that can be actuated by that cable remotely. And where you put the master cylinder does not matter, right? So find somewhere on your bike where it's hidden. That's the whole point. You don't want people to see it necessarily, right? So if you have split tanks, people put it in between the split tanks. Some of the old BMWs and shit, that's like by the factory, they have like underneath the tank. If you have like a lifted tank or something, you can hide it underneath there. That cable just needs to be able to actuate an arm. So mine, I put on my Springer. I hadn't seen it done that way. I just thought it was cool because it's kind of a cool setup. And I thought I also didn't want to have a super long, thick hydraulic line, like coming out from the bike going down. It kind of defeated the purpose. So I just have a thin, clutch cable that goes down. And what I did was on my Springer, there was a bung that was welded in before it was chromed that for the fender, if you wanted to have a fender. I don't have a fender. So I'll tell you what I used for a master cylinder. There's a billion of them out there on eBay, and they're super cheap. I think I got mine for $9. I got mine was off a Kawasaki Ninja. ZX14R. I don't even know what the fuck that means. It just looked like the right one.
Four-wheelers also use that same thing. And most of the four-wheeler ones are Brembro.
Oh, that's a really hot tip. I get one of those motherfuckers. But I'm going to throw a picture up of what it looks like here. Yeah. Yeah, they're used on a ton of Japanese stuff. They're all over the place. And like I said, on eBay, dude, you get these things for nothing. Like $9 shipped to your door. I would definitely rebuild them when I get them, unless it's like in pretty good shape. But that's just me. So now you have this caliper, and you need to have it actuate, right? These calipers, typically the ones that, like the one I used, it has two mounting bolts. So one of them went into that first bung, and then what I did was I welded a second bung onto the chrome, stainless steel bung, so it wouldn't rust and look like shit, and also TIG welded with whatever the fucking 301L or whatever the fuck you use for stainless. And that actually works. You can TIG weld right on top of the chrome. It didn't crack the chrome. It blends right in because you can polish the stainless, and looks fucking awesome. So this is what I did. Go to Fab Kevin remote master cylinder and look at that picture, and then just try it. I just re-engineered it based off of that. So I have two mounting bolts, but you need to have a bracket for the master cylinder, right? Because there's 3 mounting points, right? So there's 2 for where you're going to mount the master cylinder to your bike, and then or you could actually weld the bracket on. So I mounted mine with bolts, but I think the one that Fab Kevin has is actually weldable. You can weld it onto your frame or wherever the fuck you want to put it. But then that third point is you need to have an arm that pushes in the plunger when you pull the cable, right? So on the bracket, you have a pivot point. So I just used like a little you can use a bolt. I used like a little pin with a cotter pin in it, and that's a pivot point. Now it's just a short piece of metal, and you got to have to toy around with it to figure out how much pull you need, how much throw you need in that arm, so you can get the right appropriate, like once everything's done, you can always go back and just change out that arm, make it a little bit longer, make it a little bit shorter. But on the end of that arm is going to be a brake. I guess it's called the clamp clevis. So it's basically like a little triangle. It's two pieces. And so it comes up to a point, and then there's a backing plate, and you have a bolt on there, and you cinch it down. So your clutch cable goes into that clevis. You cinch it up. Now it's connected to the arm. So when you pull the brake, that arm pulls that plunger into your master cylinder. So I'm going to throw up some pictures here of what it looks like. I'll throw up Fab Kevin's. But if you get it, just go get, and like I said, you're not going to be out a ton of money, dude. This is really cheap shit. Everybody has a clutch cable laying around that they can fuck with and cut up, Everybody has scrap metal that you can make a little bracket with. Everybody has fucking bolts and shit lying around. You should definitely try it out. If you want to do it, you're going to find that it's a little bit of trial and error, but it's definitely doable, and it's definitely usable. Like I said, it brakes better than my rear brake, this cable actuated remote master cylinder, and it looks super clean because you just have both sides. I just have clutch cables going down, so it's like uniform, and then it goes to this remote master cylinder. And the way that these things work, if you're a machinist, you can make like all sorts of cool like actual masters where you're holding the fluid. I just used like a piece of tubing basically with a bolt in it, and I filled that up with fluid. It's like this long. So you basically, when you squeeze that, it's going to be compressing the fluid in that line that goes to your caliper. So you need a little bit. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit of extra fluid. So that's going to drop when you pull that, and it's going to force it down. And then I just got a brake cable, brake line that's like 4 inches long, because it's mounted. The caliper is mounted right next to the remote master cylinder. So I just have like a little whippet that goes right into the caliper. So yeah, I'll throw up some pictures of that. It was super fun to make, and there's all different ways to make it. There's not a lot of information that I found online how to do it. There's a couple of threads on Chopcult, but they're not like super detailed. So if you have any questions about how to make a remote master after you watch this, or if you're hung up on a certain thing, just let me know what you're running into. Happy to field questions. I think they're the bee's knees. I just think they're super cool. And it just really opens up to your creativity. You can fucking put this thing anywhere. You can have it completely hidden underneath the bike. You can have it on your fucking sissy bar. You can have it wherever you want, Find a cool place to put it. Hide it under your tank. Put it somewhere. They kind of look cool too. I've seen dudes engrave them, and they have like really nice looking ones, especially like machinists. They can like turn down some cool cool designs on that shit. But yeah, definitely that's one of those when I first started looking into choppers and shit, I'm like, that's something that I want to do, and I just didn't have the information to do it. And then finally got the balls to do it, and I was just like, I'm just going to copy Fab Kevin. So this is not me being creative. All right, this is me stealing other people's ideas and adapting it to my own, but it was cheap.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, ain't no shame in my game, but I just didn't, if I had the money, I'd definitely get Fab Kevin's. That thing is legit. That guy's he's a craftsman. So if you have the money to drop on that shit, you should get his kit. And if you're a low life like me, you could probably, I think I probably spent, dude, no joke, like maybe $25 on this setup. Because like I had most of the stuff lying around. Yeah, I think the most expensive part was like the stainless bung that I put on the Springer, because those shits ain't cheap. I spent more on that one bung than I did on the fucking Kawasaki. I think it was an 06 to 011 Kawasaki Ninja. Dude, they're just, eBay's lousy with them. So definitely get that. Oh, the other thing I did too is just, this is a personal preference, but I don't want to have any metric shit on my bike. And where you thread in the bolts to hold the caliper to the bike, it was metric, and that just wasn't sitting right with me. So I drilled that shit out to 3/8. It's a little bit beefier, and they're super easy to, I mean, it's just an aluminum body. So do that, and then you don't have to keep like a fucking 14 millimeter wrench in your fucking tool roll. All right. That's all I have on brakes, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think I can add to that, honestly. I don't think I can add to that. The only thing I can say is from personal experience and preference. Obviously, everybody knows I run just a rear brake. That's it. Not for cool guy points, none of that. I just like it better. I think it looks better with the front end just open. There's no rotor holding, like, taking up the whole wheel and whatever. To each their own. You know what I mean? But for a rear, I really like the GMAs. That's one of my favorite calipers. I think it looks nice. The brackets look nice. They work really fucking well. You can lock that brake up easily. But the only downfall is in the past couple years, GMAs have gone through the fucking roof. Even for like a used clapped out GMA at a fucking swap meet, you're looking at like fucking $200. Easy.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah. GMA,
I was
that's
lucky. Mine came with it, you know.
Yeah, same. My last shovel came with it. This shovel did not. This one came with the banana caliper, which, if you don't know, are fucking junk. So
yeah,
I'm actually going to be going down this brake caliper decision making pretty fucking soon here.
Yeah. I mean, calipers are expensive. The nice ones are expensive. And you can do, I see a lot of dudes run dual rear caliper. That's something I'd get into. That'd be sick. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, some people do dual front.
Rear caliper sick.
Yeah, it's a lot of caliper on the front wheel, dude. I mean, if I was doing like a club style or something, like I would definitely go dual caliper on the front. That looks kind of tough. But that's, like you said, I mean, no argument. It looks better with nothing up there. No front brake. Looks better, hands down.
Yeah.
Just my riding style and what I'm comfortable with. I like having that front brake. I live in a hilly area and shit. And I don't know. I haven't been able to say goodbye to it yet. But you can I mean, again, the rear dual rear caliper, that would help out a lot, you know. But
yep.
Yeah. So, speaking of dual rear calipers, we should take some time to thank those motherfuckers that make this show possible.
Up first, we have Dan at No Luck Paintworks, cooking up the dopest fucking paint jobs on the East Coast. Don't at me. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Yeah, Dan's the homie. But I don't bullshit. If I say he's the best, he's the fucking best. Promise you that. Check out his work. No Luck Paintworks on Instagram. He's painting an absolute stud of a gas tank for the smoke out. This kid is he's fucking brilliant. His mind works in very strange fucking ways, which makes him create super sick fucking paint jobs. If you want to bring your build to the next level, hit up Dan at No Luck Paintworks. Books are closed. You know, it's summertime. The homeboy's trying to ride his fucking chopper. But if you want to get on that fucking list for this winter, you better sign up now, because that shit fills up quick. Next, we got Deadbeat Customs, the creator of the Deadbeat Retreat. Steve has been supporting this show since almost the very fucking beginning, through cancellations, through me saying questionable shit. He doesn't leave our side. He's like a good parent. He just watches from afar and makes sure we don't do anything to kill ourselves. He also created the Deadbeat Retreat, which is become a staple in the Northeast. For the chopper guys, the dyna guys, pretty much everybody fucking goes these days. And it's always a fucking blast, no matter where the venue is. Deadbeat is always a fucking blast. I've seen some people posting some shit the other day saying, oh man, it'll never be the same now that it's not at Fiddlehead. Listen, this is the third venue since I've been going. And I think it's like the fourth or fifth venue since it started. All right? It doesn't matter where the Deadbeat's at. It matters who shows up. And if the right people show up, Deadbeat is always a fucking blast. And it has been every single year that I've gone. So if you want to get tickets for Deadbeat Retreat, go to deadbeatcustoms.com. Use code LOWLIFE at checkout. And if you need some fucking parts for your chopper, bagger, dyna, fucking whatever you need, they got it at deadbeatcustoms.com. Next, we got Stay Strong Co., the creator of the most delicious fucking hot sauce, our fucking collab partner in Chopper Sauce. Listen, if you have not picked up some Chopper Sauce yet, you're fucking up. It is fucking delicious. Go buy the trio. Get the Chopper Sauce, the original, the shit hot sauce, or the shit's hot sauce. Get all three of them. They're fucking delicious. You can get them at staystrongco.org. I just posted a fucking story. You won't see it by Friday, but I'll try to post it again on Friday. Go get yourself some Chopper Sauce. Let John Luke know you love the fucking sweet heat that you're putting in between your cheeks. Up next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Everything you need for the road ahead. Lowbrow and his team, well, Tyler and his team, support every fucking chopper show across the country. They're about that grassroots shit. And they have parts for everything. You can build an entire chopper off that website. It doesn't matter what you need. You can find it at lowbrowcustoms.com. Follow them on Instagram. Check out the motherfucking YouTube. They actually post a lot of helpful shit on YouTube. And tell them the boys from the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you.
Yeah. I gotta say, they have the best transmission rebuild. It's the only video you'll ever need. If you have a ratchet top and you're rebuilding it, Frank Kessler crushes it, dude. It's like a 3-hour video. It's fucking amazing. Up next, we got Gaucho. We Motor Co. We wrench, we ride. We Motor Co. Gear for riders so you can still afford to ride. How you like that? Put a little gas in your tank. You're gonna need it. He also got sub 300 USD club style vests with the slits, with the diamond stitching. And I think he just dropped an armored flannel. Two colorways. They look dope. One's like a brown, red, black fucking thing, and then they're just blacked out, which I would definitely get the blacked out one. But he got vests plus shirts, hats, hoodies, and other goodies like camp mugs. So go over to huimotorco.com. It's so fun to say. Whee! Next up, we got Burnt Up Wood Burning. Matt, our boy down in Connecticut. He's doing photo-realistic wood burning designs from choppers and hot rods to pets and hot broads. Matt's your man. He's an old school dude. He doesn't use AI. He doesn't use Chat GPT and all that gay shit. He uses the mitts to create his art. He'll do your old lady's titties or my dick. I'll send him a picture. It'll come with a calendar. You get a calendar and you get a free wood burning of my penis. And don't explain it to anybody when they come into your foyer or parlor. Next up, we got Silver City Co. Austin, Matt's boy, our boy. He's now offering welding services, fabrication, small maintenance out of Meriden, Connecticut. He does bikes and cars and all sorts of fucked up shit. His imagination knows no bounds. He's just like his daddy. He's very creative. So go hit up Austin. Tell him the boys at the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you. Last but not least on my list, this is my favorite one. He's our boy. He's the original bad boy. He got me talking in a Jamaican accent, man.
Bumba clap!
Yeah, it just makes you want to go, Bumba clap! You've been in Babylon too long, man. He's the original bad boy. Gangsta. Fucking Chris from Oxford Co. Choppers. From handlebars and hardtails. Hard parts for hard men. And again, the best, hands down, the best hardtail deal I've seen in my entire life. And I've been around the block, sweetheart. Okay? $900 installed, all expertly TIG welded and installed in-house from USA-made steel, cast axle plates. He also does frame restoration. So when you get drunk and you fucking hit a telephone pole, don't scrap your bike. Bring it to Chris. He'll fix that fucking shit up. And he does extensive frame modification. I saw he had one chopped. Basically 2/3 of the fucking thing was gone and he rebuilt it. So go check out Oxford Co. Choppers. The original bad boy. Last but not least, we got my boy, Loctite's motherfucking chop shop.
Convenient located in Epping, New Hampshire, the motherfucking town of the three governors in the center of the motherfucking universe. For all your pinstripe beats, make sure you hit me up, Loctite's Chop Shop. I can do garage signs or pinstripe entire bikes. I'll see you when I see you.
The three governors thing gets me every fucking week.
Hey, listen, guys. We appreciate you tuning the fucking... Oh, last but not least, this show.
That was pretty fucking close.
For all your motherfucking merch needs, get over to lowlifechopperpodcast.com. You can check out all of our merch. You can check out all the places we stream. You can find all of our social medias. You can find our emails. You can find out how to donate and buy us a slice of fucking pizza. All right? You can join the Patreon. You can do everything in this one fucking place. Super fucking cool. Huge shout out to Rhino for putting in the work and building a fucking website because I wouldn't even know where to start. All right? So help me repay Rhino by visiting the motherfucking website. Even if you don't want to buy nothing, go check it out. Take a screenshot, share it on IG and be like, hey, check it out, fuckers. Good job. Not half bad for a couple retards. All right? That's all we ask. But until next week, we love you. We appreciate all the fucking support. Get out, ride your fucking choppers, and motherfucking happy Independence Day. God bless America. See you motherfuckers later.
Bye.